Hi, welcome back to another edition of Wednesday Chats. Today we're going to talk about the history of Monmouth Christian Church. So my name is Eileen.
And I'm Sean.
And today we're going to talk about, like I said before, the history of Monmouth Christian Church. And it's been around for quite a while, and we figured it out before we did this, so we would know what we were talking about. How many years is it?
166 years is the math we came up with. 1856 was the first year they started meeting.
When did Oregon become a state?
After that. Valentine's Day, I know that.
That's safe. Sometime later.
But it's crazy to think, I mean, this is pre-Civil War.
That's true.
1856.
So a long time.
In kind of the peak of the Oregon Trail. They came from Monmouth, Illinois, and there was a church there, the church at Monmouth, the Christian church at Monmouth, and a group of them left and came here. And initially, they actually settled for the first couple years. It took about 3 years for the vast majority of them to get out here. The first couple years, they settled what is a little bit west of West Salem. There's a actual
Is it
still
over by the
place.
Brunk House?
No, further northwest of there.
Oh.
There's a place called Bethel Church. It's actually still there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a community there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's where they settled first. And they were having problems, surprise, surprise. They're having health problems because of all the wetness.
No.
I know. Weird. Shocking.
So dry now.
And so that's why most people don't think about it, but it's weird that Monmouth isn't on a river or a port or something like that. And we're actually like 6 miles away. It's because they found basically the tallest hill that they could farm. And they settled to try and get away from the dampness and the river and all that kind of stuff. And they settled here, and they started the church. They started the college, or at the time it was
Which is
college.
Western now.
Western Oregon University. Originally, they weren't really good with names. Like if you look at history, sometimes they call it the college at Monmouth, Monmouth College, Monmouth Christian College, all these weird names, and the town. And that was kind of their vision, was a town and a college that initially was built to train pastors to send them all over. And they ran the college for like 30 years and never really got it. It's hard to start a college on a frontier land, right? There's not a lot of people who are like, I'd like to get on the wagon train and go out to college out, you know? They started those three things. They started the university, they started the church, and if you're local, if you go to the center of campus, the center campus is Monmouth and Church are the street names. Because the church at Monmouth was on that corner at the center campus, and they shared a building to begin with. And then when they sold the property to the state, they moved and literally moved the building about 2 blocks over to where Praise Assembly now meets.
Now, is part of that building still the original building, or did they?
I mean, technically, I don't know if there's any actual boards that are
I didn't know
if
there's like one section that's still, and they built around it, or?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they built around, they dug out underneath. There's a basement now. But I think twice in the 150 years that we were in that building, 145 years, I think twice it got condemned. So it's gone through a lot of repairs and a lot of work done.
That would make sense in this damp climate, and you're made out of wood.
Yes.
That's not going to go well.
Yes, and then 2001 we moved over here back onto Church Street, just a couple hundred yards from where we originally
And
were.
a fun fact, we don't have it here to show you, but we do have one of a bell that was in the steeple. But what's the story about that bell?
So the funny story about it is, I mean, it's a bell. It's 125.
It's pretty big. It's like
old.
2 feet tall by a foot and a half wide. It's a ginormous, heavy
It's
bell.
very heavy. It was manufactured somewhere like Chicago or something like that, and they shipped it out. And to manufacture a bell at the time was a big thing, and they the church that ordered it had to pay a deposit on it, and they had it shipped out. and they had to pay the remainder of the deposit when it arrived out on the train. Well, it got out here, and the church that originally ordered it couldn't pay the amount or decide they didn't want to or something like that. And so they had to figure out what to do with the bell. And so the Christian church, Monmouth Christian Church, decided they wanted the bell. So the Monmouth Christian Church decided that they wanted it. And so they bought it. But the problem is that emblazoned on it, like embossed, is that the right word? Where it pops out.
Mm-hmm. Engraved.
Engraved. Well, it's not in, it comes out, right? It comes out and it says Monmouth Baptist Church, right? Because that's who had ordered the bell. Well, now the Christian church owned it, so somebody took a grinder and just grinded off Baptist and
Whatever
then
works.
engraved into it Christian. So Monmouth is popped out, Christian is engraved in, and church is popped out. Yeah, so
So a rich history.
yeah,
Been around for a long time.
and a lot of people, I mean, some cool things, some cool factoids. Monmouth Christian Church was the first church to have a mission society in the state of Oregon. It was the first Christian church to have a woman as a pastor. A huge number of missionaries over the last 50 years have come out of this church. One of the largest Christian church missions organizations is called CMF, Christian Missionary Fellowship. And at one point in time, like half of the senior leadership of CMF was from Monmouth Christian Church. A lot of really incredible things have been born out of a group of people who took an incredibly huge risk, had never seen this place in Oregon. And as I joke with people, I've said from stage, Monmouth, Illinois had to be really bad for you to sell everything to go to some place you'd never seen, just figuring like it's got to be better than what we got here, right?
Or it was God calling. I felt passionate about
or that too. Or that, but but yeah, really rich legacy of a lot of faithful people, sacrificed in a lot of ways. A lot of people that will never know their names. But I've said plenty of times from stage, I really do believe that we stand on the shoulders of giants. And we here at Monmouth Christian Church have the benefit of a 166-year legacy that has gone before us and plowed the way for us. And so, yeah, a lot of cool things. Excited for whatever those next years look like for us, for generations to come that don't know our names.
Yep.
But live under the shade of trees we've planted, as the old saying goes. So,
For sure.
So, yeah, thanks for joining us again for Wednesday Chat, and hope that you'll find a chance to come connect with us sometime.
See ya. Bye-bye.